be your flight attendants. You get it? Because it's a bird show? Yeah, well, we love a good bird pun here and a good dad joke. So if you guys don't like those things, just laugh anyways, or else it's going to get really awkward in here. Yeah, thanks for the penny laughs. I appreciate it. So we work for an organization called the American Eagle Foundation. The American Eagle Foundation and Dollywood have been working together now for about 30 years to help educate guests about birds of prey and conservation. And even though our name is the Eagle Foundation, we care for so much more than just eagles here. Don't worry, today inside our show, you will be able to see a bald eagle. But you're also going to be able to see a hawk, a falcon, and everybody's favorite, our owls. Yeah. So before we get started, we're going to be getting up close and personal with our birds. So we do have a few safety precautions we need to cover. I'm passing those on to Harley, but I'll see y'all in a bit.
All right, you guys. So you're listening now to enjoy an exciting and educational bird of prey show. Now, for those of you who have seen our show before in the spring and summertime, this show will be a little bit different. So all summer long, our birds will get a chance to do some flying during our shows. You know, in the wintertime, they do get a bit of a winter vacation. So we're not going to be doing any flying on our shows today. We'll still bring the birds closer to you so you can get those up-close looks and great photos. So we do have a couple of safety precautions to help keep you and our birds safe. Our main concern in our theater today is food. Drinks are okay, but if you drink less, all food items are kept put away or covered, as birds have been trained to go towards food. So you don't really want to share your snacks, but hot chocolate is A-okay with me. Now we are going to be walking these birds up and down these two aisleways here, so do your best to get those aisles clear for your any personal belongings. Now as we walk past the birds, I know they are super, super cute. We're not trying to touch or pet the birds. The birds in our show are predators, not pets. If you reach out to touch them, and they reach out to grab you, it will not feel very good. So trust me on that one. Now feel free to take as many pictures and videos as you like, but do request turn off your flash, don't spook a few of our birds. Lastly, we are very proud to say that our birds are very well trained. Kind of. The birds in our show are not, however, potty trained. So there's that. We'll just say this, accidents can, probably will happen. Those of you in our theater today wearing your hats, good choice to keep care. The rest of you, don't look directly at them with your mouth wide open. Because it will not taste very good either. Alright, so with that, this is our last show today, but we're hoping it's going to be a great show. So who's excited to celebrate our incredible birds? Alright. So we'd like to say that our birds run primarily on enthusiasm. So, to help you guys out, to help you warm up a little bit, on the count of 3, I'm going to need your biggest, brunest, tunest, Tennessean yeehaw. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Yeehaw! Hey, great job, you guys. Sounds like you're ready to go, so let me introduce all of you to the first bird who's in our show today.
Asher.
So this bird has a unique name and a unique story to go along with that name. So one day a little boy was walking down the woods inside of Georgia when he came across an egg laying on the ground. Now he thought for sure that that egg was a goose egg, so he brought it home, put it inside of his chicken egg incubator. Yeah, but what hatched out of that egg a couple weeks later definitely wasn't a goose, but instead it was Goose, our red-shouldered hawk. Yeah, we thought it was a funny name, so we kept it. So red-shouldered hawks get their name from those gorgeous rusty red shoulders that you can see there. And as I'm feeding Goose some food, you guys can probably hear that he makes a loud squealing noise from time to time. You guys hear that one? So you have to be careful if you hear that sound in your backyard. And if you try to identify it as a red-shouldered hawk, you gotta be careful because a lot of blue jays, mockingbirds, and songbirds can imitate that call almost perfectly. But you can usually find red-shouldered hawks around waterways, like marshes, swamps, and bogs, because their favorite things to eat in the whole wide world are crayfish and salamanders and frogs, which is a bit of a weird diet for a bird of prey. But of course, they'll also eat mice too. shouldered hawk. Oh, he's a little spooked by strollers. That's okay. We'll move this way. So one of the major threats to a red-shouldered hawk, though, is getting caught inside of fishing lines, since they do live around waterways. So if you guys want to help protect our beautiful birds of prey like Goose here, we just ask that you do one simple thing whenever you go fishing or you go to the lake or river. Just clean up your fishing line and any trash you might find, and then Goose and all his wildlife friends will thank you for it. Now Goose is a great flyer inside of our shows, and he's been doing shows with us for 3 years now. And I think that he makes a very talented addition to our show. Get it, talents? Well, what did you all think of our very talented Mr. Goose?
Oh, thank you guys. Oh, you're talking about him. All right, got it. Well, I'd like to introduce all of you to Buster. Now with a quick show of hands. How many of you believe that Buster here is a baby owl? Anyone? All right, how many of you believe that Buster is an adult owl? More hands that time. How many of you don't know, don't care, but is ready for me to tell you the answer? All right, take your time now. Well, if you raise your hands up the second time, you can give yourselves a little pat on the back. Because you're right. Buster is a full-grown adult eastern screech owl. So even though he's little, he is a full-grown adult man. Now he can also be camera shy sometimes too, so sorry guys. Now one thing you will notice about Buster as I passed out with him, you will notice that Buster is missing his left eye. So Buster came to our organization, he had received a head injury that caused an attached retina to form in that eye. Over the years, the injury got worse and worse and started causing a lot of pain. So to help him out, our veterinary team used to go ahead and remove his eye for him. So he has it up completely, now he just looks like he's winking at you. Now I call Buster an eastern screech owl. But we do think that's a bit of a misleading name because these birds really don't screech at all. And instead they make more of a wavering whistle. That to me sounds a bit like a horse whinny. And to you all, it's going to sound a little bit like this. So not all owls are going to hoot. Some of them are just going to make a whistle like that. Honestly, the best part about bringing Buster around is seeing everyone's reactions to how cute he is. He thinks he's fierce and ferocious though. Don't let him fool you. Now also when I passed out with Buster, check out this little feather tusk on top of his head. Oh, but wait. Now we know Buster's pretty cute, so how can we make our show any cuter? What about two screech owls? So Macy just came out with our second screech owl, the little guy she's holding. His name is Gimli, if you're Lord of the Rings fans out there. Now when I passed out with our owls, notice those little feather tusks on top of their head. How did you think that those tusks look a lot like ears? Alright, yeah, a lot of you. But those tusks might look like an owl's ears, but they have nothing to do with hearing. Those tusks are quite simply feathers. And owls' ears are placed on the sides of their head, right behind their eyeballs. You normally can't see their ears because they're almost always covered in feathers. Those little feathered tusks do help aid screech owls with camouflage. They help break up their shape and their outline, help them look a little less like an owl, and look more like a piece of tree bark. So Buster and Gimli were sitting up high in a tree, and a predator came along looking for a snack. They would stick this feather tusk up nice and tall. They would squint their eye, or eye in Buster's case, and they would look like nothing more than a bump on a branch. You did notice the coloration on their chest and on their wings also looks just like tree bark too. So these are to be very well camouflaged if they're out in the wild. Now, if you might have noticed already that our screech owls are also two different colors. Screech owls come in a couple different color forms or color morphs. Buster here with me, he is called a gray-fanged screech owl. He's got a nice grayish tint to his feathers. But Gimli, over with Macy, Gimli is called a red-fanged screech owl. So he has a nice rusty reddish tint. There is also a third color fanged screech owls called the brown fangs. And I bet you can't guess what color they are. They're purple. No, okay. They're around. We are very creative, or not so creative when it comes to naming our birds. We'll try and do a good side-by-side comparison here in just a moment so you can see that color difference up close. Now also here at Wings America, we do have a very burning debate going on. So we're going to try and settle this right here, right now. Alright, basically, I think that Buster is the cutest of our two screech owls. So Macy over there says, no way, Jose. She thinks that Gimli's the cutest. So in a moment or so, we're going to try and do a little tiebreaker. So where are my Team Buster fans? Go ahead and make some noise. Team Buster fans? All right, pretty good, pretty good. How about Team Gimli fans? All right, well, those of you who voted for Gimli, you should be ashamed of yourself. Buster only has one eye. Where's your sympathy? All right, we're kidding, we're kidding. Both of our screech owls are being quite adorable. Now, screech owls are pretty widespread all across Tennessee, all across the eastern half of the U.S. But because they're very small, they are easily overlooked. Now, these birds also do have one major threat, and it has to do with us and our vehicles. So, say you're driving down a country at night with your headlights on. There might be a screech owl sitting by the side of the road, enjoying a lovely dinner of mouse. That screech owl might get startled by your headlights, fly up, and then they could get hit by an oncoming car. So if this ever does happen to you and you'd like to help out, feel free to do so. Just don't use your bare hands to pick them up. These birds are little, yes, but those talons are still very sharp and very strong. So to protect you, we recommend you take a towel, a blanket, a jacket, even a pair of thick gloves like this one. Wrap your injured bird up and take it straight to your vet's office or wildlife rehabber. So that way they get the proper care that they need. So that's exactly what we think happened to both Buster and Gimli. So both of our owls are found on the side of a local roadway, so it's safe to assume they're probably hit by a car. In Gimli's case, Gimli had received a feet injury that requires some treatment for a while. And Buster had a head injury that eventually caused the possibility of dying. So that's the reason these birds are not able to be back out to the wild. But they do make excellent ambassadors for their species. Also, you guys match, you're both camouflaged. Yeah, nice job. So in our audience today, do we happen to have anyone from East Tennessee? Do we have any locals here? All right, yeah, part of you locals. Excellent. Well, while you're here in Tennessee, if you ever find an injured hawk, owl, falcon, vulture, even an injured bald eagle, then give the American Eagle Foundation a call. We do have our very own wildlife rehab center. We give these birds the best chance to get them back out to the wild. Just so sure when you have an injured bird, you call the American Eagle Foundation. And that's American Eagle Holding Company. We are very different, don't get us confused. They have genes, we have birds. Alright. Now, our screech owls had one job, and they did it perfectly. It was to look super cute, right? So you probably think that they're cute enough when I take them home with you. Well, you can't, because they're ours. But if you'd like to attract a wild screech owl to come live in your backyard, one great way to do so is to build and put up a nest box. We have an example nest box mounted on the wall over here at the side of the stage. So if any of you guys are crafty, if you're good at woodworking, you probably take a picture of our box here. Alright, so, who out there, my owl lovers? Alright, lots of owl lovers. You guys did come to the right show. We actually have one more owl coming out. I'm going to introduce you to him in a moment.
This is Desi, our desert eagle owl. But I do have to go ahead and give out an apology to all you owl lovers, because you're not going to be able to find Desi here inside of the United States. You're going to have to book a plane ticket to Egypt, Iraq, Israel, Saudi Arabia, or even Kuwait. So as I walk around Desi, you guys can check out those striking orange eyes that he has. So Desi here has these really large eyes to be able to see in the dark a whole lot better. Because as everybody knows, owls are nocturnal. So I want everybody to act like you're holding a softball in your hand. Now take your softball, put it right up to your eye. That's how big your eyes would be if you were an owl. Your eyeballs would weigh about 3.5 pounds. Yeah, and I don't know about you, but I would look absolutely ridiculous with glasses the size of dinner plates on my face. So I'm glad we're not nocturnal. But you guys can also check out his sandy coloration. With all those speckles down his back, that is to help Desi with camouflage. So let's just pretend for a moment that Desi was out in the wild, and he got a little threatened by a larger predator. What he's going to do is he's going to lay down flat completely in the sand. He's going to spread those wings out wide, stick up those little feather tufts on top of his head, and he will look nothing more than like a boulder on the horizon. So Desi truly is a master of camouflage, but I don't have the heart to tell him that we don't live in the desert and we live in East Tennessee. So whenever he goes into his rock mode when he's sitting outside, I walk past him anyways so I don't hurt his feelings. But I also like to think that it helps build up that confidence. You know, you guys get it. You guys can also check out Desi's toes as I walk by. His toes are really unique compared to the other birds of prey you're going to see in our show today as well. Because those toes are covered with feathers all the way down to the talons. Now it is believed that those feathers on his toes are to help abide in that completely silent flight that allows him to sneak up on even his most keen-eared prey items. So I have a question for everybody now. How many of you have heard that an owl can turn their head 360 degrees all the way around? Mostly everybody, yeah. So do you guys believe that to be true?
No.
Ooh, I'm getting some mixed reviews. A lot of people are saying no, some are saying yes. Well, I'm here to tell all you naysayers out there that Desi can turn his head 360 degrees around. Yeah, so can you. You can only do it once, right? Yeah, that was a bad joke. Don't try that at home, kids. That is dangerous. So Desi here cannot turn his head 360 degrees around, so you guys are right. But he can turn it an impressive 270 degrees around. Now, a fun experiment for that one is if everybody takes your right hand and put it on your right shoulder. Now, look to your left. Do you see your hand? If you do, you're looking the wrong way. But Desi here can look over his left shoulder, say hello to his neighbor, check to see if his shirt tag is sticking out, and then see his hand on his right shoulder again. So he can still go pretty far around. Now, one of the reasons that he has to be able to do this is because his eyeballs are so large, there's not enough room in his skull for eye muscles. So Desi can't look up or down, or left or right. He can't roll his eyes at his parents, which I guess is a good thing for owl parents. So he has to have that extra flexible neck to be able to look and see in every direction for predators and for prey. So Desi usually is a flyer in our shows, and he's been in our shows for 3 years as well. And I always think that he does an outstanding job. But what did you guys think? Did you like Desi, our desert eagle owl?
This is Elena, and Elena is kind of a bird called the American kestrel. Just like with our screech owls, even though she's small, she's a full-grown adult lady. So the kestrel is one of North America's smallest falcon species. Now with most birds of prey, the only way to tell the difference between the males and the females, or the boys and the girls, is that the girls are actually larger than the boys. So talk about girl power, right, ladies? Yeah! Sorry, gentlemen. But for the American kestrel, these are also one of the few raptors that do have a bit of a color difference. So female kestrels, like the lady here, will have brown striped wings, but male kestrels will have bluish gray colored wings. So they walk around her, you see those little brown stripes? That's how I know just by looking at her, Lynn is a girl and a boy. Now also check out those little dark ones that go right beneath your eyes. Now, have any of you guys ever watched or played football or baseball? And ever noticed those little black stripes underneath football and baseball player eyes? So those little black stripes underneath the latest eyes act just like those. So they help protect the latest eyes to the glare of the sun. We like to call them mustache marks. They remind me of a little Fu Manchu mustache. So you can think of those like your own personal built-in pair of sunglasses. Now don't let this Lena's small size fool you. Even though she's little, Elena is fast. So kestrels can find speeds approaching 60, even 70 miles an hour. So who wants to know what it feels like to fly that fast? Make sure you're on the bottom of a roller coaster today. That coaster goes about 60 miles an hour after the first drop. And hey, that's how fast this lady here can fly. Next time you ride it, you can imagine that you're Elena and you go through all those loops, twists, and turns. So kestrels use this great fast speed to go after small birds, flying insects, and their favorite food of all, mice. Now, before we get started on that one, kestrels also have great eyesight. These birds also have a bit of a superpower, if you will. They can see in ultraviolet light. But wait, we gotta make sure that you all are paying attention. So here's a pop quiz. What was the kestrel's favorite food?
Mice.
Hey, A+ guys, you were paying attention. Well, mice have a little bit of a weakness. Mice are very small, so that means that their bladders are very small. So mice really can't hold it without to the bathroom, you know what I mean? So everywhere a mouse goes, they constantly leave behind a little trail of urine on the ground. Alright, super gross, super weird. Well, I'm going to talk about mouse urine at the bird show. Very strange. Well, fun fact for you all, urine reflects ultraviolet light. So a kestrel like Elena here can actually see that trail of urine behind by a mouse, and then she can follow it like a road map or a GPS, and right towards her meal. I call that's like our best joke we have in the show. Sympathy mice, thank you. Now, kestrels like Elena are also one of Mother Nature's most clever predators, but these birds also have a very serious threat too, and that is the use of rodenticides or rodent poison. So when a well-meaning homeowner or business owner decides to use rodent poison in their home or business, unfortunately rodent poison can harm, even kill a kestrel like Elena. When a mouse eats that poison bait, it can take that mouse up to 3 days to pass away. Over those 3 days, that mouse acts very sick and is very slow. And a sick and slow mouse makes a very easy meal for a hungry kestrel, a hawk, an owl, or even a pet cats or dogs. So a poisoned mouse ends up poisoning the predator too. So if you would like a nice easy way to protect these birds out in the wild, we encourage all of you not to use rodenticides, especially the main traps if necessary. Or hey, better yet, practice some bird prevention. See about holes in the walls and floors of your house or home? You'll have food stashed away in mouse-proof containers. Even clear brush piles might still have a good place to live. If you're also looking for some more natural pest control or looking for a perfect mouse trap, look no further, I've got one right here. Having a healthy population of kestrels, hawks, and owls should do the job for you by serving as Mother Nature's best pest control team. So just like with our screech owls, if you want to attract a kestrel to live in your yard, you can do so by building some of those exact same nest boxes. Both kestrels and screech owls are that same size box, same style of box. But quick disclaimer, they don't like to share the same box. They don't make good roommates, they will not get along well. So have to put at least 2 boxes. They can have 2 of these cute little birds do your pest control work for you. The kestrel will take the day shifts, screech owls take the night shifts. You get 24/7 pest control that works for free, so there's that. Now, Elena here is also the smallest bird we take care of at the whole American Eagle Foundation. So I'm curious, would you guys like to take a guess to how much Elena weighs? If you have a good guess, just shout it out for me. 4.5 ounces? All right, have you seen our show before? You cheated. Everyone look over here, this is what we call a cheater. But he was right. Elena here weighs in at only 4 ounces. So who wants to know what 4 ounces feels like? You'll hopefully find yourself a stick of butter. You can draw some little mustache marks on it, put some little eyeballs on it. When it bounces on our hand, you have your own kestrel. So how about it for our fast, fabulous little falcon, Elena? Everyone, do stick around because we have one more big, majestic bird coming out in a moment. This next bird is one you're not going to want to miss. Keep your cameras on ready. This will be our little bird in just a few.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our living symbol of what America stands for. Freedom, courage, strength, spirit, and independence. The bald eagle.
He's very handsome, isn't he? His name is Mr. America. Very fitting. America is our 33-year-old male bald eagle. And you're probably wondering, Macy, why did you just call him bald, right? He's not bald, that's rude. Well, bald actually refers to an old English term meaning white-headed. Before they get that white head at the age of 5, they're an all-brown color from head to toe, which indicates immaturity. The bald eagle became our nation's symbol in 1782. They represent America's pride and spirit, but they also represent a truly amazing conservation success story. Back in the late 60s and 70s, the bald eagle was almost threatened to extinction, mostly due to the use of DDT, habitat loss, and illegal shootings. But since they are our nation's symbol, everybody joined together with great conservation efforts to help them out. Some of those efforts included banning the use of DDT, environmental cleanup campaigns, and release programs, just like ours here at Dollywood. On Eagle Mountain Sanctuary, we house 25 non-releasable bald eagles. All of them came to us with life-threatening injuries, just like America here, and can no longer be released back out into the wild again. But in that first aviary, we also house a maiden pair named Grant and Glenda, and every single spring, they will lay eggs, raise chicks, and once those chicks are old enough, we will release them back out into the wild again. Over our very long history here, and as of this summer, we're proud to announce that we have now released 180 bald eagles into the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. With the help from organizations no longer a rarity to see them soaring over a river or nesting near a local lake. So with that being said, the American Eagle Foundation and Dollywood are proud to share with you our nation's living symbol.